tackling what started out as a small irrigation leak, you know, one of those that should only take about 20 minutes to fix. Yeah, well, not even close. What looked like a simple leak turned into a full-blown disaster. I'm talking cracked fittings, broken lines, muddy trenches, and a control valve that had to be completely replaced. If you're thinking about doing a similar repair yourself, you might want to watch this all the way through to the end first. I'm going to show you everything that went wrong, how I fixed it, and how to handle the monkey wrenches that might come your way. In this case, it looks like it's just the T, like the glue didn't hold up. That didn't sound good though. No. All right. Looks like I have to replace this T. It's going to take a lot longer than I thought, so I got to dig all this out so I can expose the whole thing. You're going to have to get your hands dirty and watch out for the wiring. It's going to be a major pain if you cut that. There's always a solution, but it's going to take you a lot more time if you fuck that up. See, there's the old one that someone nicked already. They had to discontinue that one. That's the old one. Dig it out so you can get enough room to work. Very tricky setup here, where it goes from a 45 to a T, a little stub, and then a 90. Seems like it's gonna be a little bit of a pain, but where there's a will, there's a way. I got a little play here, so I could move it around a little bit, but I don't want to stress these pipes too much to where that becomes a problem. It's just gonna be too tight, so I'm gonna take this box out and dig so I can dig around it more, and I need to clean all this up anyway to have access for these in the future. I'm just gonna be very careful. It's gonna be time consuming, but I'm gonna dig all this out, make it easier for myself. If I would have hired a pro for this, it would have probably cost me at least $800. So was the DIY worth it? You'll see. Yeah. I got it all cleaned up. This is how it should look. I'm not going to remove all the dirt from underneath because that's giving it support for when I'm doing work to keep the pipes from moving so much. Also, I want that stability because there is a water hammer when the sprinkler system gets turned on and off, which makes the pipes vibrate, which is most likely what happened here. So I need to figure that out in the future, put like a water hammer arrestor somewhere along the line. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is remove all this piping here because it'll easily unscrew from this fitting, and then I'm going to replace all this so we get rid of this coupling here. That'll be another weak point. Replace the T. I'll probably cut it, I'm guessing right here, because I have a little play this way. I can always get rid of this coupling. There's things I think I'll have a lot more flexibility here. If I run into trouble, worst case scenarios, I'll have to replace this whole manifold right here. I hope it doesn't come to that. I'm trying to do the least amount of work to save and maximize my time. I've got so much on my plate right now. Ideally, in a perfect world, I'd love to replace it all, but it's just very time consuming, and I hope it doesn't come to that. So I'm just going to go get another one of these fittings and a stub, a pipe stub, to match all this, so at least I'm getting rid of one fitting out of the equation, taking one out. Now I'm going to cut it here as close to the T as I can, and same here. And then I'm probably going to have to put a coupling here. If you're into real life DIY with no fluff and a few hard-earned lessons, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. By the way, if you have something to add that could benefit others, drop a comment. Even if you only want to say hi, just make sure you share where you're from. Since I lost that much on the T, I should be able to go a 90 right into there and into there with a little stub. So that should make up the difference. Since this is being pushed over here, that's okay, because since I lost this much from cutting that pipe, it's going to push it over, and there's flexibility here. So I'll be good. A union right here was the perfect solution. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one on now. Do my best not to get any dirt on that, because that'll fuck it all up. That will ruin it. Okay, that's good. And the same in here. What that does is prep it for the glue, so it gets a good bond, really cleans it. I'm determined to get this done today, so it has all night for the glue to cure before I try turning the water on. With these glues, it's typically a couple hours. There's some glues where you can do it within the hour, but I don't really trust that after doing all this. I don't want to repeat the work. Every climate is different, depends on the humidity, all that stuff. So I would rather just give it the extra time to be sure. It's nothing worse than wasting time. You want to wrap it like 4 to 5 times. You don't have to be perfect with it. And then make sure you're not cross-threading it. If it's not going smoothly, stop. You'll know you put the Teflon tape the right way, because it won't be unraveling on you. You're going plastic in the metal, so don't overdo it. Once it starts getting snug, just give it like another quarter to half turn. I think I can go a little bit more. All right, that's probably good. Push and give it a little twist. Make sure it's on there good. You can see it's all the way, as much as I can get it pretty much. And then what I want to do is get it as close as I can. So I'm going to mark it pretty much going to be at the A, the tip of the A. That's good. Doesn't get any tighter than that. But get it up the threads right away. That's gonna be a problem. I think that's just primer. Yeah, but just in case, I'm gonna wipe it really good. So you don't want any hindrance when it comes to threading this on. Should probably wear gloves too. But I'm being an idiot. And I'm sure I'll pay for it later. See? Already stained purple. Alright. No, that didn't fucking work. Okay, so it bumped it out a little longer than I wanted it to. There's just nothing I could do with the profile of the 90 and the Union. But it's not terrible. And there's a solution. First, let me get this on there so I can see exactly where I'm sitting. You can see right here. I'll have to cut this back about an inch, get a new 45 and another stub, and then I should be golden. It's hard to tell in a tight spot, you know, measuring things and trying to eyeball it, but not a problem. I knew that was my backup plan. It sucks I have to go there, but it's still better than having to replace this whole manifold. So when I cut the pipe right there, it should give me exactly what I need to move this over this way. In theory. There's not much flex in this, so I hope I'm right. Right on. Go with the V. That's good. Beautiful. All right, let's lock that in. We'll go with the P. starting. There we go. Yeah, kind of feels forced. Oh, but I can twist it a little this way. And if I cut it a little bit, should be good. Unless I can go a little more that way. There we go. That straightens it out a little. Actually, it's probably good once I get it in there. All right. Let's glue it. Getting sloppy. Whatever, I don't fucking care anymore. Just fucking tired. I knew this was gonna be a pain in the ass. But whatever. Probably saving myself like $800. And I'm finally cleaning up the sprinkler box. I thought I was recording it when I put the final piece in. Apparently I wasn't, but got it pretty straight. It's sloppy as hell because I started getting frustrated with everything. You know, I have not done plumbing like this in years. I got rid of a coupling here and had to add one here because I got cocky and didn't measure it. Tried to eyeball everything. All in all, it was a success. I'm gonna let it cure overnight and then turn the water on, and hopefully there will be no leaks. Start slowly. Always turn the water back on slowly. That's from the hose, so I'm not worried about it. The hose is another issue. Alright, I'm not seeing any leaks. So that's good. Let's try something here. Perfect. We do have a leak. Okay. Well, it's just this one. So it looks like after all that, I'm gonna have to replace this. I think it's just the gasket. So I'm gonna see if I can pick up a repair kit for that. So good, at least the main pipe is fixed. So it turns out that the housing was cracked. Right there, fine hairline crack. And that was the gamble, was to put a new bonnet on, you know, from a similar valve and see if that helps. But no, it was still leaking, so I got to replace the whole valve, no choice. So I already dug it out, and I got a repair coupling. So hopefully I can get this off pretty easily and get the other one in now that it's all dug out. What a fucking pain. But so now we can see how to replace the whole valve. Worst case scenario has happened. Well, I guess it could be even worse having to replace the whole manifold, but let's not go there. I'm good with this. Let's get this done and be done with it. Move on. There's other projects to do. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Same exact size. Dig this out even more right here. It's like right there. If this was 3/4 inch, it would work, but they don't have one that's 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch anyway. I'd have to put a reducer, then it wouldn't work. I'd have to cut into this, and sometimes that could be a little tricky getting a tight seal. Yeah. That's all I could do. See if I can cut this as straight as possible with this tool. See the importance of backing it up, because you crack this, it's a whole manifold. That's like $60 in parts and a lot of time. I might have to cut just a little bit off, but before I get crazy with that, I'm going to put the new one on dry fit it, because I don't want to make that mistake. It's been a long time since I've done pipe fitting. This doesn't have any Teflon on it. So let me clean it up. Okay. I'm not going to get crazy with it though. There's so many threads on here. I don't think it's going to need much. The arrow's got to be pointing towards the flow of the water. So all the sprinkler heads are that way. Same thing, I wouldn't over tighten this either. You have to push down this pipe a little bit. Just make sure not to cross thread, or that's trouble. You gotta make sure it's straight, which is tough to do with that other pipe. Sometimes if you twist it backwards a little bit, so you feel it kind of fall into place. Sometimes it's tough in this. There we go. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. You see, it should go on very easily. You should get no resistance. You start getting snug. Make sure you back up this pipe again. I don't know if I'm going to really try too much more here. Because I don't want to crack it. I could probably go around one more time. This is where it gets risky. Okay, this is definitely the last time. Get as straight as possible. There we go. Definitely gonna have to cut one of these down to get this union on. I just don't want to overdo it. I'm going to take this one to here. That should be good. We'll go. No, we're good. That's going to be perfect. That should be pretty good. you don't want to do. Do the same thing here. I think I need to cut it just a little bit, which sucks. Maybe I can flex it. That's gonna be too tight. Cut it just a tiny bit. Can't really use the tool for that. And it's gonna be really tough being on the edge. Beautiful. I'm gonna let that cure, and then when I tighten that union, it should suck it in just enough because there's definitely play. See that? As long as it's been since I did pipe fitting, that's not bad. I'm happy with it. All right, while that's curing, I'm gonna go ahead and put the bonnet back on. There we go. See how there's that little indentation for it, and the recess, what do you want to call it. Make sure it's like perfectly snug, clean. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait till the morning before I do that so it really cures. In the morning I'll come in and tighten up this union before I turn the water on. Shouldn't feel any resistance until you get about that far. Then it should still turn somewhat easily. If you're forcing it, you're probably stripping it. Plastic threads. Steel or zinc plated screws. Plastic threads. No match. So do not cross thread. I'm turning it with just one hand. I'm using a little force, but like I'm not having to force it with two hands. Let's get it close and then go back and snug them all up, kind of kitty corner. Don't over tighten them. Good. Now we're good. I know this one's good already, but just double check. Alright, put this solenoid back in. Make sure it's clean. So in the morning I'll come back and tighten that up, turn the water on, and hopefully all good. And I didn't crack anything else in the process. Let's see what happens. Oh, come on, man. Oh my God. You're fucking kidding me. I can't win. I can't win. That was a little break in the old pipe there. It's all right though. I have another one of these. I have another stub of pipe. I'm gonna have to go buy another union since this is glued. Shit. This is never ending, it seems. This one's all good. You can hear the sprinklers kicking on. All right, back to the store. I'm gonna pick up a union. But at least I know I got the right, cut it to the right size, so as long as if I match it when I take this one out, it'll be good. Then I can close all this up finally. I want to put the valve in this union, and I put too much pressure on this T, you know, trying to work it in there, and it popped out. The good thing is it just broke the glue, so I cleaned it up pretty good. I should be able to just re-glue it. Hopefully I didn't crack any of the glue here. If I have another leak here, I'm just gonna go ahead and fucking replace everything, because I'm just I'm getting frustrated. It's like every time I set something further down the line breaks. This is not the first time this has happened to me. This has happened to me many years ago. When you're working with old brittle pipes, this is what's going to happen. You have to be prepared and ready for this. So sometimes something that you think should be simple turns into a nightmare and ends up being 3-4 times longer than you want it to be, with the cost tripling or quadrupling. It happens. Sometimes things go great and a lot easier than expected, so things kind of even out typically. Just always seems to happen when you got a lot on your plate, is when the undesired situation is what happens. So go figure. So I'm just going to re-glue this, stick it in, let it cure for a few hours, and then come back and see what's up. I'm putting the glue in kind of thick. I sanded it down so the glue has something to grab onto. I let it sit for 3 hours this time. Let's try it again, see what happens. No leaks. Beautiful. That makes me happy.